Peace, good evening. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player, and I wanted to come at you with a 2022 New York Giant draft. Some of these picks may be similar to what the Jets picks were, and that's because some of the Giants' needs as far as tight ends, offensive linemen are similar to the Jets' needs. The Giants' line situation is a lot worse than the Jets' line situation, so I'm going to be looking out for that. I'm also going to be looking out for somebody to pair Ojulari, like as far as defensive ends go or edge rushers. I could add something there, and I also want to go without doing trades. I'm gonna not do a trade. One thing here, like since I'm not doing trades and the Giants suck at offensive line, they have no linemen except for one. Same as the Jets, I hope the Giants do sign a veteran, but here I'm going to go with the best pass rusher maybe in this draft, Evan Neal. I think Cross is a good pass rusher too, a pass blocker. I'm sorry. I think Cross is also a good pass blocker, but Evan Neal has the size, a little bit more nimble, and he's been good against proven competition. I'm taking Evan Neal in spite of the fact that I don't think he had a great game against Georgia, but who cares? See, like right now, like the Ravens are offering 14th and 45th. Raiders are offering 23, 54, 85. I'd be all over any of these deals. But for the sake of this draft, or this board, since I'm not trading, I'm just going to go with the guys who I think offer the best option for the Giants, in addition to being the best position of need and position of need and value. A lot of people have Kyle Hamilton really high on their board. The Giants could use a Kyle Hamilton at safety. It's not an imminent need. The Giants could also use a receiver of the ilk of Garrett Wilson, somebody with decent size. They could also use a receiver of the ilk of Chris Olave, mini Victor Cruz. Charles Cross here would be an option too. I mean, like, let me just look at all the linemen that are left. I mean, I already know, but Charles Cross is here. Akeem Ekwonu is also here from North Carolina State, who's very tempting because I could put him over at guard, and I think he'd be one of the best guards in the NFL, regardless of how this experiment goes. Kenyon Green, I don't want to lie to you guys. I haven't seen a lot of tape of Kenyon Green, so I'm going to pass. But I have seen some tape of his, and he's all right. Not that great. So right now, to me, if I had anybody who's calling at me, it's Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave for that matter. The tight ends it's too high of a pick for any of them. It's either Wilson at the receiver position, Ekwonu at tackle or guard, or Tyler Linderbaum. I'm gonna go the easy route here. It's a toss up. It's a softball, but I gotta go with Linderbaum here. Again, I would trade down both those picks and try to get some capital. The Giants right now, are in salary cap hell. Like nobody's telling you this, but the Giants' salary cap situation is a joke. Dave Gettleman, thankfully he's gone, but the position that he left our team in, we're going to be screwed for years to come. One of my draft tactics in this draft was hope and pray. Since I wasn't trading, one of my draft tactics was that somebody that I did like would fall down, and I actually at quarterback like Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. I think if it were the Giants and I weren't the GM, they'd go with Kenny Pickett, because for some reason we've had a tough time vesting into the brothers at the position. But let's break the mold here. I'm going to go with Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis is the best quarterback in this draft, bar none. He's a first-round talent. He's never going to be here at the second round, I think. If he is here, the Lions will take him. But or any other team. Tennessee could take him at 31. But in this scenario, the Giants are taking him. So let me take Malik Willis here. Keep things moving. A lot of the guys that I like are coming off the board. But I think some of the good value at guard, like some of these guys that might have a second round grading, could fall down to the third round. Guards like Zion Johnson, particularly. I mean, Johnson is not like a stellar player, but he's pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of tape of his yet either. But if he falls down into this range, I'd either move up to take him, or I'd trade down and take him earlier than that. So let's see who's available here. Zion Johnson is still here. I mean, that's very tempting. I'm going to see what else we got. I think Trey McBride is off the board. Yeah, Trey McBride and Isaiah Likely are off the board. I expected that. At tackle, you have Abraham Lucas. He's okay. He reminds me of Trevor Penning. Like I don't see it really. Guard, that's kind of like a value pick. Zion Johnson will never be here in this scenario, but I gotta take him. Justin Ross is also very tempting because the Giants don't have a big receiver, and Justin Ross of Clemson is a big receiver, and he's pretty good. I like what he does near the line. The Giants suck at linebacker. You could pencil that in at any time. We've sucked at linebacker since God knows when. Henry Tutu would be a nice option there, but he's just not it for me. Like, I mean, I think Chad Muma is a better linebacker. Arguably, Brian Asamoah might be a little bit of a better linebacker than Henry Tutu. Cornerback, there's really nothing there, even though I like Kobe Bryant. Leon O'Neal, nothing tempting. So I'm going to go with the guard. Take Zion Johnson with the 67th overall pick. Plug and play. Let's go. And Zion Johnson has to start on this team. Out of everybody we've picked so far, that's 3 players that would be immediate starters. That's what the Giants need. Because honestly, one thing with the Giants salary cap hell, in that they have a lot of players that they have signed to contracts they can't cut. Can't cut at all. The one saving grace and the one place where the Giants can cut, or where the Giants could add value in the draft, where a player won't be stuck behind the veteran, is at the offensive line position. And believe me, I would draft three tackles in this draft. The Giants line sucks. The Giants line on their best game sucked this past year. The Giants line the year before last was the worst in the league. Last year, for many periods, the Giants line was the worst in the league for most of the year. So I mean, you can't really trip if I choose to take another tackle or guard here. And Abraham Lucas is there. I mean, is that a nice risk? Sort of. Thayer Munford is there too. Thayer Munford, I don't know how to say his name. He's nasty. I like him too. Oh, he's pretty good. I may lean in that direction. This Zach Charbonnet guy, I don't know why I hate on USC players because he's actually pretty good. But I'm going to tell you, there's nobody in this short list here that I like better at running back. And I think the Giants should be addressing running back in this draft. Just to have somebody behind Barkley if they bring him back. Or, I mean, I don't know what his implications are, like as far as salary cap goes. But with this pick, I'm going to reach a little bit, and I'm going to take Thayer Munford. I'm cool with that. Like, again, I mean, I think that's my 4th pick so far. And even if it was all on the line, that's my 5th pick, actually. 4 linemen, I'm cool with it. Even at 109, I mean, if somebody drops in that 109 area, I mean, I may be tempted to take him too. Rasheed Walker's there. I'd probably mess with it. None of these guards. I mean, I like Emil, whatever his name is. He's pretty good. Marcus Hayes is pretty good too. The center talent that's still on the board, okay, but let's see where the board takes us. The Zach Charbonnet kid from UCLA got scooped up. A little bit of a run on the running backs, but I'm okay. It's not the biggest area of need, but it is an area of need. I mean, Brian Asamoah is off the board. I would have taken him. And Channing Tyndall is off the board too, Georgia linebacker. Had a pretty good game this past week. I would have taken him too. The name that pops out at me right now, I mean, Zonovan Knight. I like him a lot because he doesn't have that wear and tear. Like, I'm not gonna get cute and say, "Oh, well, this guy's a system fit," like, and like not pick like the guys I like because of a system fit. That goes with line and with edge rushers too. I like Cameron Thomas from San Diego State a lot. Nolan Smith would be a good pick here too. I mean, Nolan Smith is a good edge rushing prospect, no doubt about it. But I think as far as system fits go, I think he would tear shit up with Ojulari, but I'd rather have another Ojulari on here, like, or a guy that could fit that role. Where Nolan Smith is kind of like a good like edge rusher if you got other people occupied, like they did in Georgia all year. They had a lot of edge rush options there, or a lot of people going after the quarterback all year, particularly these linebackers, Anderson and they don't have Anderson on this board either. Adam Anderson, the linebacker out of Georgia. Just so you guys know, because I would have picked him in the second round even. But I'm gonna go Cameron Thomas here, edge rusher out of San Diego State. I mean, it is a fair weather state. I don't like to pick people from these hot climates. And my draft may differ a little bit from the Jets draft in the sense that the Jets are going to be ready to sort of want to compete next year. The Giants would be fools to try to compete next year. Now, I said that in spite of the fact that I picked the quarterback. I mean, well, that is an indication that we're not ready to pick to compete next year because I am picking a quarterback. But I don't know if they're going to keep Daniel Jones or not next year. Daniel Jones stinks. I've been saying he stunk since the second we drafted him. In fact, I put out a video that he sucked the day we drafted him. But even if they start him next year, I would still draft the quarterback behind them, especially one of the ilk of our man Malik Willis. I'd actually be tickled pink if he was here, if we were able to grab Malik Willis. Honestly, I would grab Malik Willis with this. I would, if the Giants were to take Malik Willis with one of their first round picks, I'm cool with it 100%. Now we're getting into the zone of players that I don't know who the hell they are for the most part. I know some of these dudes though, trying to see if there's anybody. I know Cecilia McCormick, the running back. He was the first one that's on that list, so that's an easy one. I just to make things more interesting, let me go down the wide receiver route. Charleston Rambo. I already said that I liked him in my other tape. Tight ends. I mean, these are. I haven't really looked at tape of these guys yet. Nothing there at the tackle that I know. Cade Mays, I actually do know him. He's okay. He's serviceable. I don't want to take all my shots at line because in the event that these guys do suck. But if, for instance, two of them were good or dependable, then I'm okay with drafting 4 or even 5 linemen. If they suck and you know they're not the guy next year, then take another one next year. Who cares? Or take more next year. So right now my choices are between I actually know Tyler Goodson too. He's okay. But my choices are between Sincere McCormick or Tyler Goodson. and Josh Joby, the cornerback of Alabama. I don't think Josh Joby's coming anywhere near the 5th round, but he is here, so I'm going to take him. One of those 2 running backs, Lord willing, and Sincere McCormick. One just came off the board, but I'm hoping that one of them is there for me to take later. Again, we're entering no man's land. I don't know any of these guys, like, by and large. I know Ali Gay. He just got bagged from LSU. He's not that great though. But right when I was just about to mention Tariq Smith, safety from Georgia. He would have been a good pick there. But Charleston Rambo is still here, so I'm gonna go with him. Make sure nobody else is here. You know, I think Charleston Rambo had the was going to be able to come or was considering, if I remember correctly, or I think other people were considering him to come out of the draft last year, if I remember correctly. I know it was one of those Miami cats. It was either him or the safety. I forgot his name. Tariq Smith is also there, but I'm good as far as edge rushers now. I know I have an edge rushing starter next year, no matter what. These linebackers are all, as far as the names I know, or as far as the ones I've seen play. I've seen Ellis Brooks play. He's not that great. Let me see what I have at safety. Quarterback. I don't know any of these dudes. And running back. Actually, running back, I'm going to go CJ Verdell. Make sure I didn't draft the running back. But I actually like CJ Verdell. It was a close between him and Rambo. But CJ Verdell is good. I think he actually started for Oregon this past year, at least in some instances. But I do remember seeing him play at Oregon a couple of times, and he's not bad. You know, we're going into the 5th and 6th round. These are all, like, for the most part, crapshoots. Now here at 182, the 2 players that do stick out to me off the rip, I did mention Tariq Smith, the edge rusher from Ohio State. He's a sort of a rotation guy in Ohio State. He could be a rotation guy with us. And Hassan Haskins, I actually do know who he is. And I actually like his style of play. So with this pick, I'm going to go Haskins here. You know, in the early part of last year, Barkley didn't play for us for a ton of games early on. Bubba Bolden was the safety I was saying from Miami that I thought was going to go out last year. But in 2021, Saquon Barkley played in spurts, especially in the beginning of the year. Saquon Barkley's been injured just about every year. But one thing that we did see with Saquon Barkley this year is that he's lost a ton of steps, not even a step, a ton of steps. He doesn't have that ability to plow people over. He doesn't have the ability to push a pile. He doesn't have the ability to make cuts like he used to. Hopefully, I mean, he's a really good guy, but we're done with the Saquon Barkley experiment too. You know, I'd rather not compete next year and see what we have, especially if we don't draft a quarterback. Guys, there's a good chance that a quarterback doesn't get drafted in this draft, but we'll see. But if a quarterback doesn't get drafted in this draft, then we're not competing anyway. We're going to suck next year. So why bother? I mean, the bad thing is that if you're in salary cap hell, like the Giants are, that you kind of have to compete by default. So it sucks. I mean, so Gettleman screwed us in every sense. And, like, since Gettleman's been here, every year was like a year to compete. Like a year where we went crazy as far as signing free agents and getting real close, if not beyond the salary cap. And what do we have to show for it? So, I mean, once you're committed to a team like that, I mean, it's crapper get off the pot. So the Giants are still in that situation as far as their salary cap goes. So they're gonna have to, in a sense, like sort of compete, but they're not gonna compete. The Giants might be worse next year than they are this year. But with this pick, I've seen Ellis Brooks play. Whatever. If he works, he works. 7th-round pick. I think the Giants have another 7th-round pick. I haven't done a lot of mocks for the Giants, even casually, but I do remember that they had. I could have sworn that they had another pick here at 7. Again, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say, "Oh, I know Daniel Barker from Illinois, like tight end is fantastic." I may take him. The only guy I've seen that's left here like play is this cat right here, Olukunle Fatukasi. I think he played for another team. I think he played for another school too. But if we do have another pick, I'm bagging him. We don't. But look what we did draft. Evan Neal starts at right tackle off the rip. He may start at left tackle if our man at left tackle gets injured. In spurts, Evan Neal could start next year. Tyler Lindenbaum, day one starter at center. Happy with that. Malik Willis maybe doesn't start next year, but I mean, you have a contender for the reins of quarterback next year or the year after. So I'm cool with that. And if Daniel Jones is a starter next year, I think Daniel Jones, if he's good for one thing, it's the fact that he's a nice guy. So maybe he schools Malik Willis to the game. So it's a good person to start behind. But then I go with Zion Johnson, super value at 67. At somebody who could go in the early second round. I bagged him in the second round. I mean, in the third round. Yeah, third round. Dyer Mumford. Even the fact with the fact that we got Zion Johnson, Dyer Mumford could start on this team. Dyer Mumford could beat out Zion Johnson if there's only one. If we sign a guard in free agency, and then we draft one guard, and it's a competition between Dyer Mumford and Zion Johnson. It might be Dyer Mumford that wins out of camp. You never know. But one of these guys is going to start. So you at least got 3 starters in Lindenbaum, Evan Neal, and a combination of either one or both Zion Johnson and Dyer Mumford. Cameron Thomas, I think if you need him for the occasional edge rusher by himself, or if you want to send Ojulari and Cameron Thomas in some edge rush packages, bootleg NASCAR packages like we used to have, like these guys would be really good at both ends of our defensive line. Cameron Thomas and Ojulari. Josh Joby, he may start on this team, may not. But that's a super value pick. CJ Verdell, who knows? He might start on this team next year too, depending on Barkley's injury history or injuries. Then you got Hassan Haskins. He's serviceable. But again, if Barkley dips or if Barkley's out, I mean, you have 2 rookies that could rotate or could be options. Why not? And then Ellis Brooks, I'm not going to go into why I think Ellis Brooks is dope or not. The Giants suck at linebacker. And I mean, yes, I should have addressed it in this draft, but the Giants, I think it would serve them right to really try to go after just the offensive line, since we have historically bad offensive line play for the last couple of years. And it doesn't seem like it's a Giant kind of position to be in. The fact that we have no foundation at offensive line. So, yeah, I mean, even though like there were, the N'Kobe Deans of the world and the Brian Asamoahs of the world and the Chad Mumas, linebackers that I like, this year's class of linebackers, it's not like dope like that. Like it's not ill. Like, oh, God, I got to have this guy over the other guy. I mean, it might be dope in some people's eyes, but the thing is that the linemen that are in this draft, especially at guard, the ones that may fall like into the first and second round, are pretty good. And again, I couldn't trade. I would trade both those first round picks if it were up to me. I'd get more capital. But that's my draft. Let me know what you guys think. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm your foul player. Thank you for stepping into the foul player line with me.